Hello, ladies. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to day 15 of the 21 days to feminine magnetism. I am so glad that you guys are joining me on this journey. So we are on day number 15. Wow. I really want to know what you guys have learned. I really want to know um, what are some of the things that have changed for you while you have been reading this chapter. While you've been reading this book. So today is day number 15, and I love this topic. I love this topic. Um, because honestly, this topic is really one of the core parts of femininity. So today is day number 15, and it's called Vulnerability is the Secret Sauce. So, what do I mean by vulnerability is the secret sauce? Well, um, I'm going to explain that to you in a couple of seconds. So first, let me go through the quote. I always like to start out with a great quote, and it says, "Vulnerability is the authentic state. Being vulnerable means being open for wounding, but also for pleasure. Being open to the wounds of life means also being open to the bounty and beauty. Don't mask or deny your vulnerability. It is your greatest asset." Stephen Russell. So that's a beautiful, beautiful quote. And it does a juxtaposition about how vulnerability can absolutely wound you, but can absolutely heal you at the same time, right? So yes, when you are vulnerable, you have you are open to the possibility of getting hurt, to being wounded, to being cut deeply. But you're also open to the possibility of experiencing the most wonderful healing, restoration, and love that you can ever have imagined, right? So, vulnerability is really about taking down the defense, removing the ego, as I stated before, and allowing yourself to be open, right? You may say, be open, be open. Lots of people say they want love, they desire love, but they are not open to love. They're open to lust, they're open to obsession, they're open to infatuation, they're open to games, manipulation, those type of things. But they're not open to real love. And that's why they haven't experienced real love, is because they're just not open to it. And what does it mean to be open to love? Being open to love means that you are soft. You're soft on the outside and you're strong on the inside. Now, what does that mean? Now, that means that you are inviting. You don't have your guard up. You're not in defense mode. You're not looking for a reason to be offended. You're not looking for a man to be perfect or to read your mind. You're not looking for reasons to cut him off, right? You're open, you're inviting. You have warm disposition. You're smiling, you're easy to make happy. You're low maintenance. Not looks outwardly low maintenance, but emotionally low maintenance. You have emotional control. You're emotionally mature. You're not dramatic. You're not what they call crazy. You're in control of your emotions. You're in control of your ego, right? So, hard on the outside. I'm sorry. So that's soft on the outside. So strong on the inside means you have boundaries. You means you have standards, right? So you don't allow yourself to be taken out of character. You don't allow yourself to be played with. If someone isn't meeting your standards or boundaries, then you remove yourself. You absolutely remove yourself. So that way you can, a lot of women say, I'm scared to be vulnerable. I've been hurt so many times. I can't trust men. And that's the beauty of vulnerability that's coupled with standards and boundaries is you don't need to trust men. Who cares if men are trustworthy? Many of them aren't. But who cares? Right? Because if you are soft on the outside and strong on the inside, that means you're vulnerable coupled with boundaries and standards. And the only person you need to trust is yourself, right? You can trust yourself to know that if something isn't going your way, if you are getting things the way you want them to be, then you need to make a change. You need to stop. You need to back away. You need to lean back. You need to remove yourself from the situation. You don't need to trust that he will look out for you, right? Because I've stated this to private clients that men are very selfish. Men are very selfish and they're going to look out for themselves first until they have incorporated you into their lives. Until that point, it's all about them. So they're looking out for themselves. And a lot of women in the dating game, they're trying to prove themselves and they're looking out for men. And they're trying to make sure that men are happy with them instead of being selfish and looking out for themselves as well. So it's the man is looking out for himself. You're looking out for the man, and who's looking out for you? No one, right? No one is looking out for you. So in those instances, you set yourself up to be hurt. You set yourself up to be used. You set yourself up to be played. And then a lot of times this happens with women and they get on the defensive and they say, oh my God, I knew I shouldn't have been vulnerable. Well, in essence, you really weren't vulnerable. You probably were naive or, you allow yourself to be manipulated, but you weren't vulnerable, right? Because vulnerability, true vulnerability, has standards attached to it, has boundaries attached to it. It's not just about opening yourself up and allowing a man to get close to you and get to know you and just anything goes. No, you're not truly being vulnerable if you don't also have standards, if you don't also have boundaries. If you don't also have standards and you don't also have boundaries, you're not truly being vulnerable. You're probably being naive. You're probably being a little uh, you're probably being a little um, just taken off by the moment, kind of going with the flow, right? But if you're doing this and you have a wall up, or someone says, oh, it seems like you have a wall up, or it's not easy to get through to you, or, you even say to yourself, you know what? It's not that easy to get down my walls or get past those walls. If those are words you use about yourself, or someone who uses those words or similar wording, and the problem is that you're defensive and you're in your ego and you're scared. You're scared because you've had so many experiences in the past where you've given yourself over to a man and you ended up hurt. You've ended up disappointed. And so you think the best way to handle the situation now is to put up a wall, right? To put up a wall and not let him get through. But what that does is that takes away from your femininity and makes you a hardened woman. And it's very masculine because it puts you in this defensive energy. It puts you in this aggressive, defensive energy. Right? So you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You want to be okay with being vulnerable. You want to be okay with being vulnerable. And being vulnerable is about, you're not defensive. Defensiveness looks like, well, you know what? He needs to call me, you know? Or he says he was gonna call you at 3:30 and it's 3:40 and you're like, oh, I knew he was a liar. I knew he wasn't about stuff. It's like you're so reactive and ready to go. You're aggressive. You're in like a fight or flight type thing. You are completely consumed by your ego. and the fact that you don't want to be rejected again, right? Because you don't have boundaries and standards in place, and you know that if you don't have that wall up, if you don't put that wall up, if you don't leave with that defensiveness, you don't have anything but marshmallowness on the inside. You're gooey. You have no boundaries and standards. So you know that anything is going to go with you. You know that you're going to give in to whatever he wants. So you try to protect yourself by putting up walls and boundaries and being guarded, right? And in essence, you are keeping away love and keeping away connection. In those instances, the only type of situation that can ever blossom with you and another human being is situations where a person will not want to be serious with you because you're not being serious with yourself. You're not open to love, right? So you'll find yourself in situations where you're only getting played. Men are playing games. They only want casual situations. They only want to um, have sex. You know, they're leading with sex. They are, they're leading with sex. They aren't taking you seriously. They're on some Netflix and chill type stuff, right? Because you are not allowing them to touch your heart and get to know you as the beautiful woman that you are. Instead, you're trying to protect yourself. So you're trying to filter what they filter what they see about you, but not in a good way, not in the feminine mystique way, but in the egoic way of trying to control the outcome, right? Because you think if you keep a wall up and you keep him at bay, you're in control of the situation and you won't get hurt. Right, this a lot of times women call themselves like savages and things like that, where it's like you feel like, okay, well, I've been done a certain way in the past, and if I do men like that, then ultimately I'm winning. And in effect, you're losing because you always lose anytime you feel like you have to treat someone negatively because they're treating you negatively or because you've been treated negatively in the past. Anytime you seek revenge on people or you have a vengeful attitude about anything, you are at a loss and you always are the loser. Because one, you couldn't be more in your ego than when you want to get revenge on someone, right? So being your ego already makes you a loser, or losing, as I should say, doesn't make you a loser because loser is a noun. It doesn't describe. I mean, an adjective. It doesn't describe you, but you are losing, right? You are losing when you are getting in vengeful. I got to get back at this person mentality. Also, you're losing when you allow someone to bother you that much. You're in losing energy, right? And then when you do this type of stuff, you really, like I said, you keep away love, you keep away true connection, and that is something that will always keep you in situations where you will find yourself in masculine energy, right? And you will keep away love. You'll end up in situations where it's most likely just lust and infatuation with the person, and that's all they'll ever be able to offer you. You know what I'm saying? That person may truly be open to love, but they can't give that love to you. So you may find yourself in a situation where you're like, oh my God, this person treated me like crap. But the next person, they're so in love with them and they're doing this. And that's because that next person they got with was open to love and you weren't. And so that's why you missed out with that person. So instead of keep missing out, let down the guard, let down the wall, let down the fence, let down the fear, the hurt, let it down. Do my chapter number 4 again if you feel guarded or defensive, and let it go. And truly be ready to experience the beauty that is love, that is connection. And open yourself up. Be warm, be inviting. Always give a man the benefit of the doubt unless he proves you wrong, right? Don't go into something defensive and looking for reasons to start a problem or to reject him or put him to the side. Now, if he proves you right and he gives you a reason, by all means. But don't just be like, well, my last dude cheated, so all men cheat, so I'm going to think this dude cheat. Don't do that. Give everyone a fair chance, right? Okay, so that's just something I wanted to say, ladies. I don't want to make this too long. But that's just something I wanted to say about being guarded. It's really when you have boundaries and standards, You can open yourself up. You can be warm, you can be inviting, you can let a man in, and you won't have to ever worry about getting hurt, because you will be able to see when someone is about to cross the boundary, you can cut it off. When someone doesn't meet one of your standards, you can cut it off quickly, right? And you won't get hurt. That is how you be vulnerable and be high value and win. Don't be what appears to be vulnerable, fake vulnerability, what I call it, where you're giving a man a part of you and pieces of you, but you don't have boundaries and standards in place, so that when he gets in selfish mode and he's doing what's best for him, and you also are doing what's best for him, you get hurt, not him, because he's putting himself first. But you're not putting yourself first, you're putting him first. So that's that fake vulnerability. And that's where a lot of women end up, and then after so many experiences in that situation, they end up wanting to put up a guard, because they're like, well, I can't let a man in, I can't do anything for a man. And you have to reprogram your thinking to realize that vulnerability and high value go hand in hand, and vulnerability is the core of being feminine, because femininity is about allowing a man to connect to your heart, right? So in order for him to do that, you have to be open. You can't have defenses up. You can't have walls up. You can't have something so strong that the Hulk can't even get through to you. You know, you can't be a savage, as they say, and expect love. You have to be open. You have to be open to leading and guidance, right? Okay, ladies, so I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions or comments, please comment below. Also, let's join the discussion in my Facebook group. The link will be in the description. If you're wondering what book I am talking about, the link to that will also be in the description. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more awesome videos and to continue on the 21-day journey with me. All right, ladies, have a great day. Bye-bye.